Guruji Ka Ashram, Part 4. Guruji rarely displayed these his many powers to all. Shunning publicity was his style, and showmanship was not his call. With humility and loving care, he shepherded his beloved flock. Stunning displays to catch attention, no, that was not his stock. Healing was administered through his blessings, of which chai and langar prasad were his patented form. Ailments would vanish quickly and for good, and one would sooner than later to good health transform. Sugar for the diabetic, desi ghee samosa for the heart patient, and chili chutney for an ulcer is what Guruji would often prescribe, leaving both receiver and onlookers dumbfounded with this his somewhat bizarre medication, but it would cut the disease from its roots all right. When Guruji's numerous devotees, seeking blessings for his ailments, to him they thronged, he would patiently hear their woes, then prove earlier medical diagnosis wrong. Doctors, radiologists and other specialists, Guruji would leave them all bemused. When seriously sick patients were healed sans prescribed medication, they would be speechless and confused. What was found to be life-threatening just a few days ago would now appear to have vanished. How? No one seemed to know. The disease would be gone and its effects on the patient no longer compounded, leaving medical professionals at first astounded and then wordless and confounded. Guruji's blessings for the seriously sick, Ja Tera Kalyan Kiya, when from his mouth emitted, for them were pronouncements of deliverance sounding like reprieve for a convicted. Mango mat manyo was his often delivered mark of trade. Don't ask for material benefits, instead focus and sharpen your faith. For when it comes to things material, you need to be patient and wait. At the right time, I will give you more than what you did anticipate. Guruji's laments often would be that takers for my offerings of real substance are but a few. Everyone is so caught up in their earthly struggle that it is only the material things that they construe. When asked what these offerings of real substance were, a desire to be a passionate devotee should in your hearts endear. Complete surrender unto me and then ask me for moksha. I will grant salvation and unburden you of earthly yoke. Motor vehicles would be found to be running continuously for long hours, never seeming to need topping up. Such were his divine powers. His car would just keep going non-stop for many miles, all mystified seeing Guruji in the back seat giving that sometimes teasing smile. The satsangs of the Almighty are endless and one would not know where to start and where to end. Alleviating the sufferings of thousands, following what had by then become the common trend. Guruji loved his Sangat dearly. His love was immeasurable and beyond compare. He granted to each their cherished desires with compassion, concern and the deepest of care. Movers and shakers, they flocked to him and they came there by the tens of scores, sometimes surprising them with predictions, and time always showed that Guruji scored. They flocked for his benedictions, coming in all shapes, sizes, colors and hues. He gave his blessings to one and all, and none did he ever refuse. Professionals, entrepreneurs, government officials and commoners made that congregation's happy mix, and with just a little nod or hand gesture, he did their numerous problems fix. Don't go with the impression that it was a following of only the high of society and the mighty. Guruji's followers were a happy mix of the oi polloi and the glitterati. In fact, the larger section of his following comprised of the common man who made up his flock, and it cut across all sections of society, making it a truly egalitarian stock. Then there was a certain individual who retailed for a farmer brand, gave gratifications to boost the sales of a somewhat harmful injection, as was then the unspoken norm in farmer land, when absolute obedience to Guruji's chiding, directing him to this immoral practice forthwith stop, made his profits quadruple against his competitors, propelling him to the very top. If you are part of his following, then you must know this for good measure. It is only by his express will that you can partake of his treasure. Every member of his Sangat is an entity chosen by Guruji alone, after a long and spiritual journey from somewhere largely on their own. And to his disciples, Guruji always did say this much, that when a true Guru's feet in deep reverence you touch, by that act he takes your major karmic ills upon himself, leaving you with just that little bit to handle by yourself. When giving blessings to his devotees, he would take their karma upon himself, which indeed was a very big deal. That would then make him sick, and through nightly meditation he would then himself heal. Guruji had never slept during his earthly life, and of this there was no pretense. If he did, who would handle the housekeeping work of his devotees, which was so immense? Guruji's love for his Sangat is therefore boundless like a roving mind, every moment of his earthly life spent in the service of humankind. Granting children to the childless and correcting professional careers gone wrong, impetus to businesses bogged in quagmires, providing happy solutions which last long. Even granting life extension when the grim reaper stood waiting threateningly at the door. Strictly forbidden by Guruji from doing his gruesome business, not just this once, but quite a few times before. Guruji had on occasion localized sunny weather over the Bade Mandir even during the rains. To help his Sangat members when they were running late, he held up flights and even trains. Good Samaritans made to appear from nowhere on a dark road to offer help in the dead of night. All done silently to relieve Sangat members' sometimes difficult plight.